It sounded like an alarm, like a fire alarm.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Marshall County Board of Supervisors regular session, October 23rd, 2024, 9 a.m. here in the first floor meeting room. The Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during time allowed for discussion. You're requested to approach the podium right here. Use a microphone to state your name and address, and for the record, it's recorded. And limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given the opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chair to read the item from the agenda. The board's given the opportunity to comment on the issue and or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate and a roll call will follow. We'll begin with a roll call, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solasic,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
All right, could you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I would
I'll
make,
make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have that motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solasic,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
On to service awards today. So we have, starting off in the sheriff's office, the jailer, 10 years, Shelby Pennington. How do you pronounce Nieheim? Thank you very much, Nieheim. Come on up. And is there any comments from Pat this morning? Stan, how are you?
Patrick White, Jail Administrator, Marshall County Sheriff's Office. So it's not often we get to talk about the jail or see the folks that work in the jail. And so with Shelby for 10 years in a career, that's, you don't see that a whole lot, that longevity. And so Sergeant Pennington is one of the pillars of our Sheriff's Office that keeps the day-to-day operations moving forward. So we absolutely thank her for her service, and she is also a veteran. So we thank her for that service as well. But that jail would not run without her. So we really appreciate it.
Very good.
Awesome. Anything you want to share with your 10-year service, or you don't have to if you don't want to?
I'm pretty humble after seeing the 40 years there. So.
That's great. Well, we'll get this presented to you. I don't know if anyone's taking any photos. And then
We'll take it back. Carol is out. We'll have it signed officially and get it to you.
So, come on over here. We got at least one photo going on.
Take a picture. There we go. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for your
Thank you.
service. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And next up, Tyler Renzeev, Conservation Natural Resource Manager. And Emily is on. Emily, is there any comments you have for Tyler today?
Sure, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have to apologize. My staff is really not the type of people that like to be in the limelight. So getting them to come and accept awards is kind of like pulling teeth. And that's why they work out in the woods all day long. So anyways, we are very appreciative of Tyler's hard work that he has done over the last 10 years. He started off as a maintenance technician, and he is now our natural resource manager. So he's the one that is mowing the prairies, running chainsaws in the woods, and doing a lot of hard physical labor, but it is something that he truly loves and is passionate about. And he's the type of employee that will do anything for us, and I couldn't ask for a better natural resource manager, so I'm glad that he's on staff. And if you ever see him out and about, tell him thank you, and I'm sure he'll just say, "Aw, shucks," and walk away. But he's a great employee for the Clount County, and I'm really glad that we've had him for 10 years.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Tyler, for 10 years here with the county. We appreciate your commitment. And is there any further comment? All right, moving on 2, 20 years, Wendell Millizer for the Sheriff's Office, Jail Supervisor. And round 2. Double in the years.
Lieutenant Millizer, again, one of the pillars of our agency, and Wendell's been one of my assistant jail administrators now for several years. So him and my other lieutenant are truly the ones as well that keep the jail running. They oversee the day-to-day operations, and I'm lucky to have them. And in 20 years, again, in this type of career is unheard of. So we thank him very much for his service. And he also is a reserve deputy sheriff for the Marshall County Sheriff's Office, so we also appreciate that service as well. So we thank him very much for that.
Awesome. Any words you'd like to share?
None for me today.
All right. Any words?
He had more hair when he
Thank you very
started.
much.
All right, let's get a couple here. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your
Thank
service.
you.
We appreciate it. All right, now for the grand finale. So we have 40 years, Al Houston of Secondary Roads, Sign Crew 4. And boy, what an honor this is to be honoring 4 decades today of service to Marshall County.
So yes, Al with is our second 40-year this year, I think, that we presented. And Al started in 1984. That was Reagan administration. I've got employees that weren't born when Reagan was president, so it's been quite a while ago. And he started as truck driver and qualified on motor grader and loader too, right? And
Yep.
Is there anything you didn't qualify on? Backhoes, okay. And then 91, he became our basically our sign foreman, the working foreman of the sign crew. And so 33 years he's done that, and there's a lot of people don't realize how much what we have out there for roads and miles and signs, but there's 11,000 signs in Marshall County that he has to deal with the details and keeping things up to spec, and gone through several changes of the MUTCD, which is the manual that the feds put out that say how the signs have to be. And so there's a lot of detail, and I just really appreciate Al for 40 years of detail work, safe work. I was looking at his personnel file. The thinnest part's the accident history. There's really nothing. So it's just a great job, and I know there's been rumors of his retirement, but I haven't heard anything real yet. So if he can stay on as long as he wants.
I also know after the Duray show, you had a huge job. The signs were mangled everywhere, so that was a big task.
It was.
So that was much appreciated.
All right.
Any words for us today, Al? No. Quite all right. Quite all right.
Want to jump in, picture with?
Maybe hop up in front so we can get.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Certificates again.
I'll just get all three of them at the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
You want them up here in the
Up in the front?
Yeah.
I think. Should be those two.
Awesome.
Stay. Yeah. I know.
Great. All right, we'll get the final signature now to you guys. So.
Thank you.
Any words?
Thank you all for coming up today and doing this. This is not a small thing for us. We really appreciate when you do this. And Al, big kudos to you. I guess you're number one in my book. You really are.
Just the oldest.
Thanks for being here.
Really appreciate everything they've all done. That it's amazing work, it's amazing tenure, and it's what makes, the backbone of the county. So we just really appreciate everything they've all done.
And you can.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys. That's really cool to get the 10, 20, and 40 years, kind of seeing a history of our employees and showcase what they do. So thanks to all of them today. On to our consent agenda. Approve claims as audited and authorize the auditor recorder to issue this payment of the same. The listing of the claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the current month will be published as part of the first meeting of the following month. Personnel changes, status change, secondary roads, Isaiah Moore, TD2 to TD3, full-time from $31.38 per hour to $31.77 per hour, effective October 26, 2024. And acceptance of the fiscal year 2024 official report of County Highway Engineer. And that is conclusion of today's consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and the second. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs.
Yes.
Number 8, the official notice to agencies considering requesting county funding for fiscal year 2025-26. This is any of those agencies out there that regularly or not regularly request funding from the county. Then we have this deadline set of December 13th at 4:30. And that allows us to consider those agencies for funding in our budget process that we'll be doing starting off the calendar year.
Very good.
Further questions or comments? I don't think we need to actually vote. This is just an announcement. All right,
And has the link, and has a 5 or 6 page document.
perfect. All right. On to number 9, approve transfer of funds. This is the transfer of funds. Number 950, a quarterly transfer of $750,000 from the Rural Services Fund to the Secondary Roads Fund.
Carol, I would make, Carol,
Go ahead, Steve.
All right.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of funds number 950, a quarterly transfer of $750,000 from the Rural Services Fund to the Secondary Roads Fund.
I'll second that.
We have the motion in the second. This is our quarterly transfer, so that's a normal thing we do. Is
The
there-
normal thing, and Maria told us to get this on the agenda.
When the finance tells us to do that, we do it.
Yes.
So it is time for that quarterly transfer. Any further questions, comments, concerns? We have the motion in the second. Roll call, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs.
Yes.
All right, on to number 10, discussion, possible action, 2025 calendar, Board of Supervisors meeting, dates, and the non-union floating holiday.
So, Carol, we did email you a calendar so you can see what we're looking at here. We do have a few extras if anyone else in the room would like one. We did a combining of the calendar last year. We had 2 calendars floating around before. We had an auditor calendar and a board calendar, which was, I thought, extremely confusing. So we combined them and got down to 1. So, obviously the payroll dates, that piece is pretty well set. Biweekly payroll, semi-monthly for the salaried, holidays. But one of the things we usually set is our non-union floating holiday.
Were there any suggestions from any departments? I did not hear from any.
This year is pretty simple when you really start looking at the calendar. We always look around July 4th, which July 4th is a Friday this year. That pretty well hits it a lot easier than most years when it hits a Thursday or a Tuesday. This year, Christmas for 25 falling on a Thursday makes that fall a little bit differently and makes that decision a little more obvious. In past times, we've usually put that on that Friday then. I will tell you on the payroll dates, we're what we're going to do for the auditor's office is those non-banking holidays, we're going to leave, if the payroll date falls on that Friday, we're still going to leave the payroll date that date because we have to check payroll anyway for positive pay. Just for normal banking things, and we'll be, have someone available. Sure. And it just is a lot easier when you're trying to cut checks and get everything done in 2 or in 3 days. It's just really hard with Sheriff's Office 24/7 and getting things in by noon on Tuesday when we're supposed to be sending it to the bank by noon on Tuesday is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about that turnaround, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the Friday after Thanksgiving is a holiday for the non-union folks. Obviously, Sheriff's Office is running 24/7, 365. They're working, but that is not a banking holiday. If you choose to do the 26th of December, that would be not a banking holiday. The banks would be open that day. And that is not, it does not look like that is a payroll date. Oh, it is
Mine
a payroll
says it
date.
is, yours doesn't.
Mine doesn't have it on it.
Great. It is.
It is. Okay, so we would make that then be the payroll date, would be the 26th.
So how would it work for you? Just my thought in looking at this and determining a floater was if we had the floater on the 26th and we took half day off on
The 24th.
on the 24th. How would that work for you guys doing payroll? Would that be acceptable?
Yes.
That was just a thought I had. Obviously, if there's other thoughts from anyone else, that's great too.
That is what we did last year.
Okay,
It worked for our office. We made arrangements.
perfect.
It's just one of the things when you do payroll.
Yep. Did you have any thoughts, Steve?
I don't. It looks good. There's been a lot of work put into this, obviously, so combining everything.
Yes, it's nice to just have one
I'm
calendar to
sure
look
it is.
at.
I can't imagine running off of two
Two was
calendars.
just not good. So when they combined this because of claims and payroll, having it on one was great. And I will tell you, I believe it was the first year I was here, somebody did try to put a fraudulent check through on that Friday of Thanksgiving, because it was a holiday. And we caught it, because we checked positive pay that day. It is just a thing. I mean, that would be my choice if I wanted to do something naughty when they're on a holiday.
Carol, any thoughts on floater holiday?
No, I mean, I think the proposal for the day after Christmas and the half a day on Christmas Eve is good, unless we've heard feedback otherwise from employees. I think that's good.
That work for you all? And I know when we said half a day for you all, we'd said 4 hours and we said half a day. You guys have an adjusted schedule, and we did that as a half a day for Sheriff's Office. So, because their hours are slightly different.
Yep. All right, do we have a motion for the
So
floater?
I will make a motion that we approve the calendar as presented.
Well, the rest of the calendar, we just need approval on the floater and the half a day also for Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And I guess the Board of Supervisor meeting dates are acceptable.
Yeah. So can I leave my motion the same thing?
With the floater as the 26th
Yeah.
and half the 24th?
So floater would be 12/26, 25. That's weird. 12/24, 25. I'm going to say PM. I don't know if we want to set a training date or just think about a training date for 25. We did that as the holiday there in February last year.
I think it's a good day for it. Which is on the calendar, so that would be considered in the motion then.
I don't know if that's going to work into my schedule.
You can come back, Steve.
Okay,
You can't, if you're here and approve, this.
all right. We'll leave it like this then.
Carol, you want to add the mandatory training on the 17th of February?
Yes, I can accept that as a friendly amendment, I guess.
Okay, 2/17, I'm having trouble writing 25, that seems weird. Okay,
We have a motion. Would you like to read the motion just since we kind of added? all
yes, I
to it?
will.
Let's do it.
Well, so may I just offer something? So I have put the motion out. We need a second, really, to discuss it. So if Steve wants to second it, then we can kind of go back and fine tune it.
I'll second it.
So I'm going to read what I've got, and if Sarah wants to. So I've got the non-union floating holiday of December 22nd, 2025, and December 26th of 2025, and December 24th, 2025 PM. So half a day. And we've also got the 2025 Board of Supervisor meeting dates. And we amended it to include the training date of February 17th of 2025. If we do decide that we only want a half a day, we can, for training
Okay.
that particular day, we can come back and add that at a later time as we work on that training
Perfect.
at that time.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds like the motion is clarified. We have the motion in the second. Any further discussion? Sounds great to me. Roll call, please.
Heil,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs.
Yes.
Get the calendar done. Let's get the
Calendar's
calendars rolled
done.
out.
That's exciting. That'll get posted on the website.
On to public forum time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business. Other than those listed on this agenda, no action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Go ahead, Nan.
Okay, I do have a few election items. I don't know if everyone heard the news, but there was an announcement from the Secretary of State. There was an article in the Times-Republican regarding folks that are in the iVoters database that have self-reported in the Iowa DOT system that they are not citizens. So we are getting additional information on that and how that will be handled for the election that is now 13 days away, 14 when they shared the information. I actually listened to a recording of the Simon Conway show last night, and they got more information than we did yesterday morning. So I think it's just growing. And there was even a little bit more on the TR article that was released to them. So I think it's just growing as it's going. So we'll keep getting more information as well. Our auditor recorder, we're actually going to do a little bit of haunt the block with our elections team. A couple of us are going to go out and give out future voted stickers and a little bit of candy. Just trying to do something a little positive on the election side of things when there's a lot of negative things going around. So we're going to try to participate in that out here on Main Street. Just because everybody keeps asking, as of last night, we've had absentee voting. We've had 3569 is our count. Just about 50-50. It was about 46.5%. So it was just about 50-50 between how people are registered. So that was kind of interesting that it was that even. And I do want to share a little sad news. We did lose one of our PEOs that has been working quite a while. He's from Albion in a car accident Monday. I was just completely shocked about that. So and a great guy. So that is just devastating news. Just a really cool person. So his mother called another worker Monday to let us know and called us so that we can plan because it's 2 weeks away. So just bad news. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family. That's just a toughie.
That is terrible.
41 years old.
That is sad and a good reminder. Always be safe on the roads, and
Live each-
sometimes, no matter how safe you are, there's things outside of our control. So thanks for bringing that to our attention and for the public to be aware of that. Any other public forum? All right. Well, then this is adjournment. The next regular session is Wednesday, November 6th, 9 a.m. here at the courthouse, first floor meeting room, 1 East Main Street. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the auditor recorder's office or the Board of Supervisors office by Wednesday, October 30th at noon. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 9:26 a.m. Make it a great day. Thanks.